Chosen one, as this year draws to a close, the Spirit of God is moving in ways you may not fully see yet. The battles you fought, the nights you cried, the silent prayers you whispered, none of it was ignored. Heaven has been watching, and the God who saw every tear you shed is now preparing to replace them with joy. Is a prophetic shift taking place in your life? And if your spirit has been feeling a strange peace lately, an unexplainable calm, it's because God is closing the wounds of the past and opening the gates of a new beginning. This message is for those who have walked through seasons of loss, betrayal, disappointment, and hidden suffering. You endured storms silently, you carried weights you never spoke about, and through it all God was shaping you, strengthening you, and maturing you for the door that is now about to open. As this year ends, you are stepping into a divine transition. The tears you cried were seeds, and now harvest is coming. Let me reveal to you 9 signs. God is drying all your tears and preparing a new beginning for you, chosen one. 1. Your spirit feels lighter, and you can't explain why. When God begins to heal you, the very first place He lays His hand is on your spirit, because that is the part of you that carries what your mouth never speaks and what your heart tries to hide. Recently, you may have noticed these sudden waves of peace washing over you, moments that feel strangely calm, almost supernatural, especially considering that your situation hasn't changed. Your challenges haven't vanished, and your responsibilities have not magically disappeared. Yet somehow, the heaviness you used to wake up with has been quietly dissolving. The tears that once fell without warning have slowed. The emotional weight that used to sit on your chest now feels lighter, as if someone has gently lifted a burden you didn't know how to release. This is not random. This is not accidental. This is not just a good day. This is God Himself removing the weight you were never meant to drag with you into the new year. This is Him interrupting the pain you normalized. This is Him loosening the grip of old memories that once dictated how you moved, loved, trusted, and hoped. He is touching places that were bruised, places you never talked about, places that remained tender long after the moment passed. The very atmosphere of your inner world is shifting. Your soul is being refreshed. Your emotional body is being detoxed. Your spiritual posture is being strengthened. And all of this is happening because God knows joy cannot flow where heaviness resides. He knows peace cannot bloom in soil saturated with sorrow. So He begins His healing by cleansing your spirit, because once your spirit is free, your life can follow. If you've been feeling lighter for no logical reason, it's because heaven has begun your restoration long before the new year arrives. 2. Doors you tried to close are finally staying shut. Some of you have spent months, even years, wrestling with relationships you knew were draining you, environments that exhausted you, and cycles you desperately wanted to break but somehow always returned to. You tried to distance yourself. You attempted to emotionally withdraw. You told yourself you were done, but the pull kept dragging you backward, not because you were weak, but because broken soul ties and emotional attachments are spiritual chains, not mental decisions. But now something has shifted. Doors that once swung open effortlessly no longer move. Conversations that once tempted you no longer excite you. People who once had access to your emotions no longer trigger the same reaction. It's as if God Himself placed His hand on those doors and sealed them shut. This is divine intervention. This is God stepping into places where your willpower wavered. This is Him protecting you from what you would have gone back to out of loneliness, fear, habit, or emotional vulnerability. When God closes a door, He does not slam it in anger. He seals it in love. He knows your next chapter cannot coexist with the wounds of your previous seasons. He knows certain people, patterns, and emotional cycles cannot travel with you into the new year because they are incompatible with the healing He is bringing. So he removes the desire, the attachment, the familiar pull. He breaks the spiritual ties you didn't have the strength to uproot on your own. If that chapter no longer calls you the way it once did, it is because heaven has already declared it finished. God is not only closing the door, He is locking it, sealing it, and escorting you forward into restoration. 3. You're losing desire for things that used to distract you. As God dries your tears and begins to heal the broken, hidden parts of you, He also starts removing the very distractions that once numbed your pain or delayed your purpose. Activities, habits, cravings, and temptations that once felt comforting now feel empty. Things you used to run to for escape no longer soothe you. The entertainment that used to consume your time now feels pointless. The people you once used as emotional noise no longer resonate with your spirit. This is not boredom, this is spiritual maturity. This is your soul awakening. This is your discernment sharpening as God recalibrates your appetite for the new season He is guiding you into. When God is preparing you for elevation, He strips away everything that weakens your focus or hinders your growth. He removes cravings for what feeds your flesh but starves your destiny. He silences the noise that causes confusion. He disconnects you from habits that would interfere with the blessings He is about to release. Suddenly, your spirit begins craving stillness, clarity, purity, and alignment. You feel pulled toward purpose, toward discipline, toward inner growth. Even the things you once used as coping mechanisms stop working, because God is teaching you to depend on His presence instead of temporary distractions. This loss of interest is a divine detox, a spiritual cleansing that prepares you for greater responsibility, deeper wisdom, and bigger blessings. If distractions feel dull and meaningless lately, it's because God is refining your spirit and shaping you for the destiny ahead. 4. You're experiencing sudden clarity about your life. This year may have felt like a maze, emotionally heavy, mentally draining, spiritually confusing. You may have battled uncertainty, indecision, or lack of direction, walking through months that felt dark and unclear. But recently, almost unexpectedly, pieces have begun to fall into place. Thoughts are becoming clearer. Ideas that seemed scattered now connect. Questions that haunted you are receiving answers. Even things that once frustrated you suddenly make sense. This clarity is not the result of overthinking or analyzing. It is God illuminating your path as you prepare to step into a new chapter. When God begins drying your tears, He also clears the fog that clouded your judgment. He aligns your mind with His plan. He removes confusion so you can walk confidently into the future He designed. This sudden understanding is spiritual insight, divine wisdom descending quietly into your spirit. What once felt overwhelming now feels achievable. What once felt impossible suddenly feels within reach. You are beginning to see why certain things happened, why certain people left, and why certain doors did not open. God is showing you the bigger picture. He is giving you the mental clarity necessary for the opportunities coming your way, because your next season requires clear vision, strong decisions, and stable confidence. If you've been seeing things more clearly lately, even without trying, it's because God has begun guiding your steps directly. He is preparing your mind for the blessings that are about to unfold. 5. People who hurt you are no longer a source of pain. A powerful sign that God is truly healing you is when the memory of those who wounded you no longer carries the same emotional sting. You may still remember what happened. You may still recall the betrayal, the disappointment, the broken trust, or the harsh words that once pierced your heart. But now, instead of feeling anger rise, instead of feeling sadness choke you, instead of carrying bitterness or confusion, you feel a strange sense of emotional distance. Not numbness, healing, not denial, growth, not coldness, restoration. It is as if God has been gently draining the poison from wounds you didn't know how to close. The memories are still there, but the pain attached to them is dissolving. This is what divine healing looks like. God goes into the emotional places people could not reach. He washes your heart from the inside out. He touches experiences so deeply buried that even you avoided confronting them, and instead of forcing forgiveness, He slowly, lovingly cultivates it in you. What once broke you no longer defines you. What once triggered you no longer controls you. What once made you cry now makes you stronger. You notice that thinking about these people doesn't tighten your chest anymore. You don't replay the offense. You don't imagine revenge. You don't seek closure. You don't need an apology. You simply feel released. This release is not your doing. It is God's. He has been rewiring your emotional responses, restoring your sense of self, and rebalancing the parts of you that were thrown off by hurtful experiences. Forgiveness begins to flow, not because you forced it, but because God softened the soil of your heart. Healing starts revealing itself, not because you pretended to be okay, but because God removed the emotional residue that once overwhelmed you. If the people who hurt you no longer carry the same emotional power over you, it's because God has already begun closing those wounds and preparing you for a future free of emotional bondage. 6. Unexpected blessings have been showing up recently. When heaven begins shifting your season, it often starts subtly with small, unexpected blessings that seem to come out of nowhere. You may have noticed little breakthroughs happening lately. Perhaps someone offered help when you least expected it. Maybe favor came in a situation you didn't even pray about. Maybe a small opportunity opened up, or a financial surprise appeared, or a door cracked open just enough to show you that something is changing. These are not coincidences. These are not random moments of luck. These are early signs of divine alignment, God's gentle reminders that He is moving, even before you see the full picture. Before God opens a major door, He often releases small confirmations to prepare your faith. These little blessings are like spiritual breadcrumbs, signals that you are entering a new season. They whisper, "I'm still with you. I haven't forgotten you. Something bigger is coming." Sometimes the blessings are so small that you almost overlook them, but your spirit notices. Your intuition feels it. Something in you knows these moments carry meaning. And that sense is correct. God is repositioning things around you. He is shifting environments, conversations, and situations in your favor. These unexpected blessings are signs that God has begun orchestrating your next chapter. They show you that what once worked against you is now being turned around for your good. They remind you that heaven is active, not silent. They prepare your heart for the bigger breakthroughs that will require your readiness, your obedience, and your expectancy. If unexpected blessings have been showing up, no matter how small, take them seriously. They are evidence that the spiritual atmosphere around your life is changing. God is aligning your steps, making room for your destiny, and signaling that a major door is preparing to open. 7. Your intuition keeps telling you something new is coming. Chosen ones always feel spiritual transitions before they manifest in the natural. If you've been sensing a strong inner pull lately, a quiet knowing deep within your spirit that something is shifting, something is approaching, something new is about to unfold, trust that feeling. It is not anxiety. It is not imagination. It is not wishful thinking. It is the Holy Spirit preparing you for the next chapter God is ushering you into. This inner awareness is one of the clearest indicators that your season is changing. You may feel restless without knowing why. You may feel excitement building even though nothing external has shifted yet. You may sense the atmosphere around your life growing more intense, more purposeful, more meaningful. You may feel a divine anticipation rising, a spiritual vibration signaling that God is aligning something big on your behalf. For chosen ones, spiritual sensitivity is a gift. You feel what heaven is preparing long before it appears. Your spirit receives announcements your mind hasn't understood yet. This is why you feel the need to prepare, to clean your life, to detach from distractions, to protect your energy, to get ready. This inner prompting is God telling you, get positioned. Something new is on the way. This feeling is not random, it is preparation. It is transition. It is spiritual acceleration. You are stepping out of an old season and into a divine shift. If your intuition keeps whispering that change is near, it's because heaven has already declared a shift over your life. Your spirit hears it. Your soul senses it. Your future is calling you. 8. God is removing people who no longer match your future. Lately, you may have noticed certain people drifting away, conversations ending, connections weakening, or relationships fading without conflict or dramatic closure. It may have felt confusing at first, maybe even painful. But spiritually, it is strategic. God is removing people who no longer align with your destiny. He is clearing your path from influences, energies, and personalities that do not match where He is taking you. Elevation requires separation, and separation often feels uncomfortable, even when it is necessary. God knows the private intentions and unseen motives of every person in your life. He knows who will hinder you, who will slow you down, who will drain you, and who will secretly sabotage your progress. So before He blesses you, He purifies your circle. Before He elevates you, He isolates you. Before He opens new doors, He closes old connections. When God begins drying your tears, He also removes the sources that caused them. People who wounded you, doubted you, limited you, or misused your loyalty. Many times these separations feel like loss, but in reality they are divine protection. Some people cannot follow you into your next season because they were tied to your old pain, not your new purpose. Some were attached to your brokenness, not your healing. Some loved your struggle but would envy your success. God is not being harsh, He is being protective. If certain people have been drifting away without explanation, trust that it is God safeguarding your future. Your next chapter requires the right people, the right environment, and the right alignment, and God is making sure you enter the new year surrounded only by what strengthens your destiny. 9. You feel hope rising again. After everything you've been through this year, every setback, every disappointment, every silent battle, every tear, you would think hope would be gone by now. But instead, something inside you is waking up again. A quiet spark is returning. A gentle fire is rising in your spirit. You feel life stirring inside you again. You are beginning to believe again, dream again, expect again. This renewed hope is not accidental. It is the final sign that God is restoring you. Hope does not rise in a heart that is still broken. Hope does not rise where pain still rules. Hope does not rise where despair lives. If hope is returning, it is because God has been doing deep spiritual surgery on you. He has been rebuilding you from the inside. He has been wiping your tears, strengthening your soul, and breathing life back into your spirit. Hope is a sign of spiritual rebirth, a sign that your inner world is healing, expanding, and awakening to possibilities again. This hope is confirmation that your old season is ending. The new year will not look like the last one. You are stepping into a chapter filled with clarity, direction, blessings, emotional strength, and divine alignment. Hope is heaven's announcement that restoration has begun. Something better is coming. Something greater is forming. Your spirit knows it. God wants you to prepare for it. Chosen one. If this message reached you at the right moment, it is not an accident. God is drying your tears, healing your heart, and setting you up for a divine shift. A powerful new door is opening for you as this year ends, and nothing can stop what God has already declared over your life. This is the Zillion Mind Channel. If this word spoke to your spirit, make sure you subscribe, because more messages like this are coming, And if you received this message at the exact moment you needed it, I want you to type 1111 in the comments section as a declaration of alignment, healing, and divine blessings. Thank you for watching.